On the line right now is Lise Wheel. Good morning, Lise. How are you?
Good morning. Happy New Year and all that good stuff.
You were all on fire yesterday. I was watching you on TV. Over this affluenza kid. I mean, you just like to take that kid and spank him.
Oh, and then the mom.
I know.
And then it just finishes the story with the mom because it's like she coddled the little creep all the way. He killed 4 people. She coddled him and said, "Oh, it's affluenza. So rich and all that. Blah blah blah."
Yeah.
And then when he gets in trouble again with probation, what does she do? She runs him off to Mexico.
I know.
mean, it's just ridiculous.
And who knew Carrot Top had a kid?
Yeah, exactly. They are not the most attractive folks, that's for sure.
No, holy
But I mean,
moly.
look, I'm a mother of 2. I've got a boy, 23 years old, and you got to take some personal responsibility. I love him to the moon and back, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I'd say, you violated your probation. You got to go face the music.
It is the worst thing we can do for our kids.
I think
worst.
so. I mean, of course, a mom, and this is what she's going to argue when she goes up for, because she's looking at 10 years. Oh, I'm a mom. I did whatever mom would do. No, not every mom would do that.
No, you're absolutely right. All right, we have a few biggies right now that are hitting big. Topic number 1: the petition calling for the pardon of Netflix series that was Stephen
Avery, right.
Making a Murderer. We've been all over this, but here's the question. There are over 100,000 signatures now. Can the president pardon these two?
No. So they're state cases. The president has no jurisdiction over that. I think the petition people are getting wise on that, and I think that they're now moving to petition the governor of the state, and I've forgotten the name right at this minute. But I think that is what they're doing because absolutely it falls on deaf ears. Obama can really do nothing about it. So, it's fascinating. I mean, this documentary is just fascinating. I'm going to go through it again, and I'm going to deconstruct for you every segment and put it on. I have a podcast called Wheel of Justice, W-I-E-H-L of Justice, on Fox News Radio. And I'm just going to go and deconstruct this whole thing point by point because the prosecutor in the case is all upset because he says, well, the documentary didn't put in all this bad evidence, the incriminating evidence that I did in the trial. Well, it's a documentary.
Right.
They do not have to.
Correct.
They can put in whatever they want. They can put Mickey Mouse in there.
And correct me if I'm wrong on this. There were enough. I mean, all it takes is one impropriety by the prosecution that could take a case and throw it out, out a verdict. And
Kratz, the prosecutor, wholly apart from this case, has got some major problems. When he was sexting with one of his domestic violence clients, this guy is no shining light, and that's I think one of the problems for people watching it. As they watch this documentary going further and further, they're saying we do not like this prosecutor, which is fine and good, and maybe there were some improprieties. I don't know, but I'll give you one example of where I could see it is the confession of the nephew of Avery. He's also in jail.
That is the most un-American thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's so sad. It's like the guy has very limited mental capabilities.
Yeah.
He doesn't really know what he's confessing to. If you read the language you're watching, he really doesn't have a clue. And I did for my podcast, I brought in a lawyer on false confessions on this. I'm doing a case right now on Adeline Wilford, a woman that was murdered some years ago. Mm-hmm. And I think they got the wrong people in jail. And it's very, very similar where you had a relative make a confession. So I brought in for that case a expert on this. Because you would think a confession, that's the last thing anyone would do. No, I didn't do it. Gosh dang it, I'm going to tell you I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But people, again, mentally challenged, kept in a small room for a long time. All they want to do is get the heck out of there. They're going to say
whatever. And you watch this unfold there.
You're friends with them at a certain point. These guys are they're going to take care of me.
Yeah.
Boom, and then you're confessing.
Least the kid admits to murder and then says, "All right, I've got to go now. I've got a project that's due 6 period."
Right. And he goes, and the prosecutor said, "Why did you tell us this before?" "Oh, I didn't think of it."
And I got to tell you, at least it just is unbelievable when you see that. But then to see a judge deny a second trial is incredible after the evidence that was presented.
Yeah, Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You just got to wonder what's going on sometimes with some of these judges.
Something is happening there in Wisconsin.
Same with the affluenza kid. Why did a judge let in this quote-unquote expert, nebulous is a kind word, expert, to talk about affluenza?
Yeah.
I mean, why did the judge do that? Didn't have to do that.
Crazy.
Did not have to do that.
All right, listen, I'm going to skip 2 and go right to this Camille Cosby thing. It looks like there's a change. She was supposed to give a deposition, but now there's been a change.
Yeah, I think what happened today, she was supposed to take it today, give it today, but the judge says, look, she's appealing the decision to go forward with the deposition, so I'm going to halt it while the appeal goes through, which makes complete sense, because how can you go ahead with the deposition and when she's appealing, then she's appealing for naught? I mean, what's the point?
Right.
So the judge is just saying we're holding it off until we've decided on the appeal issue. Now, people say, well, wait a second, a marital privilege, how could she be forced to testify? 2 things. 1, it's a civil case, not a criminal case, okay? And 2, she was not only his wife, she was his manager. So she has business knowledge. So there is some relevance there. She may have, if there were payoffs, for example, maybe that was taken out of, business money. So you see what I'm saying? It does make sense to me that she's made to testify. It looks ugly, but it makes sense.
If you're Bill Cosby, aren't you better off settling? Could he settle? So that the testimony...
You can't settle a criminal case.
Oh,
you can plead. You can try to plead it down, but you can't, quote-unquote, settle. Settle means a civil case.
So
you can settle civil cases all day long.
Right.
But you can only plead down or try to plead down a criminal case.
So we're going to hear... This could be the destruction of Bill Cosby because we're going to hear testimony.
Absolutely. Well, I was on O'Reilly last night, and O'Reilly made me put on my defending him hat. And I said, well, if I'm defending him, I get all of that... those allegations excluded pre-trial because I say you can't show prior, quote-unquote, prior bad acts to prove that on the date in question he did the same bad act. You can't do that. So that's what I would argue. I don't know if I'd win, and I don't like the case. I don't want Bill Cosby to hire me. But, Bill put me in that position of saying, well, everyone's saying he's guilty. Now, what would you do to try to defend him? Like
we learned in this murderer thing, this making a murderer, everyone deserves counsel. Everyone.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Look, I never was a defense lawyer because I didn't want to be one. But I completely believe that everybody is entitled to a good defense lawyer. That's what makes our system work, not just the prosecution.
All right, let us know on that podcast. We're going to promote that for you.
Yeah,
so,
would you? Wheel of Justice. Right. Go to foxnewsradio.com, and I'm doing the Adeline Wilford murder right now. It's so strikingly similar to this, but then I'm going to start deconstructing the making of a murderer.
Good stuff. Lise Wheel, thanks so much.
Thanks, you got it.
Okay. And I'll just add as well, Lise does like these 60-second vignettes, for lack of a better term, and anybody who listens to our stream will know that Lise is all over our stream. She breaks down cases and interesting legal stories in like 60 seconds, and that's all over the stream.
She's good.
On our website.